When I picked up the phone, all I remember hearing was my sister's voice and the unmistakable sound of her crying, apologizing, and next telling me he wasn't breathing.
When I was 18, my family doctor thought she heard a murmur. She said I should go see a cardiologist just to make sure everything was okay. So a couple weeks later, I'd gone and had the full workup, echoes, EKGs, and he said that I did have a problem. I had a severe leak in my aortic valve that would eventually need to be replaced with surgery. So I thought, well, this guy's got to be wrong, and I didn't go back to cardiologists for years. That was my fault. So come having my second child, after he was about 2 months old, I would notice I would just be sitting in a chair like this and feel real dizzy, like somebody took me and just flipped me upside down out of nowhere, just sitting, standing. So I decided to see a cardiologist again and pay attention this time. And he confirmed it again that I still had this severe leak in my aortic valve and I need to start medication.
So June 1st, 2009 started off like a day like any other. Woke up, got the kids ready for school, got ready for work, dropped Cody off at kindergarten and Clayton off at second grade. That afternoon, my sister picked the boys up from school as usual. She would watch them after school and they'd go hang out. While at work, I got a phone call that she wanted to take them swimming at the community pool in our subdivision. I asked that she go over and get Cody's life jacket because he wasn't the greatest swimmer at this point. Cody was 5 and Clayton was 8.
I've led a very healthy life since then. I ran my first half marathon and didn't have any problems doing that. Very active, have 2 little boys, managed to keep up with them, and everything's been great up until the arrest.
The next time my phone rang, I thought that it was my sister, telling me that she wasn't able to find the life jacket. And all I heard on the other end were tears and someone apologizing, saying that they were sorry. And I just kept asking what happened, and she said Cody wasn't breathing. And all I could do was ask her to get him help him. She said they called 911, but that he wasn't breathing. I hung up the phone, and my worst fear had come true. All I wanted to do was protect my kids, and I hadn't protected him. I raced as fast as I could to get to the location where they were at. And by the time that I had gotten there, Cody was being placed on a gurney, and the gurney was being placed in the back of an ambulance.
Saturday, January 11th, 2014 was supposed to be a fun day for our family. Our boys were going to have their first ski lessons up at Bogus. That morning, my husband had gone downstairs like he usually does, had a cup of coffee, and doesn't normally come back up unless he's forgotten something. Well, this Saturday he decided to come back up, and he just kind of hopped back in bed and was laying there talking to me about things we were going to do that day. And I think I was reaching over my nightstand to grab my phone to show him something. I reached over, dropped my phone, and nothing happened. Jeremiah said, "Ange, you gonna pick up your phone?" He kind of looked over, and it was still kind of dark early that morning, and he said he could see my hands doing something in front of me. He immediately just had this feeling come over him that something had gone wrong. And he said, sure enough, I was laying there, my hands were seizing, I was actually going into a seizure. My heart was stopping. He said he watched the blood, all coloring, leave my face. He said I turned white as a ghost, and my eyes were still open. He said my pupils were fully dilated. He said it was like nothing he'd ever wanted to see ever again. And he called 911. He did CPR for about 5.5 minutes before the fire department arrived at our house. They were able to relieve Jeremiah of the CPR duties. They took over while they were getting the defibrillator ready, and they did 4 shocks on me on my bedroom floor. After the 4 shocks, nothing happened. My heart still didn't beat. I was just laying there. I was dead. They decided to put me on a gurney and put me on, or put a Lucas chest compression machine on me which is like a St. Louis arch-looking type of machine that goes directly over your chest, and it's got like a plunger-looking thing down the middle, lines up right over your breastbone. And what that does is it does 100 beats of compressions nonstop, a minute, or 100 beats per minute of compressions nonstop. And they were able to carry me down my stairs, out of my house, into the ambulance, and to the St. Luke's and Eagle.
Upon them putting in the ambulance, that's when I arrived. When I rounded the corner, all I saw was my oldest son watching them place Cody in the ambulance. And I looked around the corner and I saw him sitting there with a teddy bear with his eyes open, looking at me.
After 5.5 minutes of CPR by my husband at home, after 4 shocks on my bedroom floor by the paramedics, by over 5 to 10 minutes of 100 beat per minute compressions from the Lucas chest compression machine, and another 4 or 5 shocks at the hospital, my heart finally started beating again.
There was a bystander at the pool that knew CPR because my sister did not know CPR. The bystander that did CPR on my son took one CPR class when she was 16 years old. The class maybe took 3 hours. Those 3 hours gave my son the rest of his life.
Ready? All right.
Moldy.
Sounds like slingshot.
Flying bird. Flying bird.
It's definitely a romantic
Wait,
comedy.
beneath my wing. No,
You drink
shirt man. The heart attack sequel.
Going down.
Well, you can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man. No time to talk. The music loud, women want being kicked around since I was born. It's all right, that's okay. And you may look the other way, but we can try to understand.
This ever happened to you? Harmless game of charades based on film titles turning into a sudden cardiac event? Bam! Shaklaki! No? What? Think you're better than me? Well, it happens, all right? It's a real-life situation! I got my daughters here, call 911, push hard and fast, okay? Focus! And yes, the beat of staying alive really works. Shama!
Disco can save lives. Yes, disco, huh? Check it out. What do you think? What? Dance party!